Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Standing Room Only, my audio commentary. This episode is going to be about professional wrestling and mixed martial arts. For some reason, a lot of people think that you have to like one or the other. You can't like both. This has come up a lot recently because recently a video appeared online of the UFC light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier attending WrestleMania 31, just having a great time with his friends, cheering on. At the time, he wanted Seth Rollins to become the WWE heavyweight champion, which he did, and when Seth won the title, Daniel went crazy, just like any other fan that was in attendance that night would do. A lot of MMA enthusiasts are upset, think it's stupid. A lot of the MMA fans don't understand it, but it doesn't really make any sense to me at all why you can't like one or the other. Because to me, they have absolutely nothing to do with each other. It's like saying you can't watch baseball and deep sea fishing. Why can't you watch pro wrestling and MMA? Most MMA fans absolutely hate professional wrestling, but most MMA fighters absolutely love it. Most pro wrestling fans enjoy MMA. But there is zero crossover between mixed martial arts fans and professional wrestling. They absolutely hate it. They hate it because they think it's quote-unquote fake. But I bet all those people that call professional wrestling fake also watch TV shows such as Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones or movies, The Avengers, Avatar, anything. Anything that you've seen in the theater, anything you watch on TV is fake. I hate to tell you, but Bryan Cranston doesn't really make meth. So the fact that professional wrestling is fake or predetermined means absolutely nothing. It's a stupid argument. They don't pretend that it's real. It's sports entertainment. They're quite openly about that it's predetermined, that it's entertainment. It's a male soap opera of sorts. And the funny thing is, like I stated earlier, most mixed martial artists themselves are professional wrestling fans. I've seen footage of Matt Hughes and The Undertaker sharing a locker room and just completely marking out for each other. They're both like, "Holy crap, you're The Undertaker," and The Undertaker's like, "Holy crap, that's Matt Hughes." Like, I don't get it. Obviously, Ronda Rousey is a huge professional wrestling fan. She was involved at WrestleMania 31. I sat behind her at last year's SummerSlam in Los Angeles. She and her three friends, the Four Horsewomen, as they call themselves, were the only celebrities that stayed for the entire show. Their row of people in the front row kept getting ushered in and out with the different celebrities so they could show them on camera. They were the only four that stayed the entire show, and they had a great time. You can see them in the background doing Randy Orton's pose when he comes up. And then she was involved with a segment with The Rock at WrestleMania 31 with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And now you have Daniel Cormier, a video showing that he attended WrestleMania 31 as well. It's just entertainment. There's no reason why mixed martial artists or mixed martial arts fans, for that matter, can't like pro wrestling. If you don't like pro wrestling because you don't like pro wrestling, that's another thing. It's not for everybody, but you don't have to like MMA or pro wrestling. You can like both. I like both. I like pro wrestling way more than I like mixed martial arts, but I do watch both. And to me, like I said, they're two completely different things. It's like saying you can't watch baseball, or if you watch baseball, you can't watch deep sea fishing. Pro wrestling and MMA, to me, have absolutely nothing to do with each other. I think another reason why fans of MMA get mad at pro wrestling is because there's been a few athletes that have transitioned over, most notably Brock Lesnar, pro wrestler, won the UFC heavyweight championship from Randy Couture, defended it a bunch of times, then eventually lost it and went back to pro wrestling. Now you have CM Punk, who has zero fighting experience, thinks he can transfer over to the world of mixed martial arts, and I'm sure he's going to get booed by MMA enthusiasts, but he has a huge fan base, and if they put his debut in Chicago, that will sell out. I guarantee you that if they went to Chicago with Oat Punk, they probably wouldn't sell out. I actually attended a few UFC events. I attended one in Vegas a few years ago, and there was a pro wrestler sitting in the crowd, sitting next to me. At the time, he was a fairly popular pro wrestler. There was a billboard of him in New York City in Times Square. He had just come off a huge WrestleMania match. That was Bobby Lashley. And I actually walked out of the building, the MGM Grand, with Bobby Lashley. Not a single MMA fan there knew who he was. Some people actually thought he was Anderson Silva. Now, Bobby Lashley is, I don't know how tall Silva is, but Lashley's this big dude, and he probably has about 100 pounds on Silva. That's when I originally realized that there is zero crossover between MMA fans and pro wrestling fans. I bet if I don't know, Chuck Liddell or Anderson Silva even, or George St. Pierre were at a WWE show, I bet they would get recognized. But my point here is, basically, I've made it a few times already, there's no reason why you can't watch both. If you don't like pro wrestling because you don't like pro wrestling, that's fine. If you don't like MMA because you don't like MMA, that's fine too. Either sport is not for everybody. But it's okay to like both. It's okay to like one or the other. If you like pro wrestling, don't let somebody that watches mixed martial arts make you stop watching pro wrestling just because they think it's stupid. That, like I said, doesn't make any sense. You can watch both. Be proud to be a professional wrestling fan. Be proud to be a mixed martial arts fan. Be proud to be a fan of both. That's it for this edition of Standing Room Only. They're not all going to be a half hour long. Maybe my next one will be a half hour long. Maybe it'll be an hour long. Maybe it'll be 5 or 10 minutes like this one. I'm just going to do these as topics come into my mind. I hope you enjoy it. I hope this one was a little bit easier to follow than the last one was. And thanks for tuning in, and thanks for listening.